The way that we do this, you guys, is we have, we ask people, would you like to share your story? So this could be you next time, by the way. Share your story, give us a little video, and then we choose a couple of the top videos that we feel like speaks to our hearts as coaches, and also speaks to the opportunity that there is as a coach to help other people, and just to tell your story, okay? So that's what we're going to do now. So Shannon, okay, so tell us a little bit about your fitness. Your personal fitness in your family before you started coaching, because you do have a story with that to tell as well.
So I always played every sports growing up. I did soccer and basketball and track all the way through high school. I ended up playing college soccer at the University of Washington, and afterwards, decided I had to find a way to stay in shape still, because you're forced to work out when you play college soccer, which is great, but afterwards it gets a lot harder. So I ended up doing half marathons, and marathon actually was at the Boston Marathon the year of the bombing, and then got into triathlons also. Before I became a Beachbody coach, I'd been married almost 3 years, and I was pregnant at the time with my daughter, and I kind of got this panic of, how am I going to work out when I have a child? Everyone says your life totally changes, which it does, for the best, I have to say. But, so yeah, that was kind of me before Beachbody. I was a total gym rat, loved classes, cycling classes, group classes, so.
Well, I mean, like a lot of gym rats, I do wonder if you were a little bit skeptical of home workouts, because, well, first of all, raise your hand if you were skeptical of home workouts before you tried, right? I mean, I think, especially if you were like me and you're like a child of the 80s and the 90s, there's a lot of crazy stuff on TV that didn't work. And maybe if it did work, you didn't do it, right? So there was no support. So you were skeptical of home workouts. But you have a story where you started with 21-day fix, and you thought, well, maybe you try. Okay, so tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, so I had seen a friend post about the 21-day fix, and I thought, well, maybe if I have a workout program at home, at least if I can't get to the gym, I have an option. So I purchased the 21-day fix through her, and she let me try Shakeology, because I thought when I go back to work I need something super easy, and I actually had no intentions of coaching at all, but I thought I really should probably do this 21-day fix program, so if people want to do it, I can actually tell them about it. And like I said, before I even bought it, I was pregnant and wanted the option to do something from home, just because I knew I wouldn't have the time. And so when I finally got it, it was a huge lifesaver for me, because when I would try to go to a gym class, I was breastfeeding my child in the car, racing to the class, picking her up from the class, feeding her in the car again, and getting home, and it was like this 2.5-hour cycle that just sucked so much time. So I joined my first challenge group, and before I did this, I thought there's no way I can get a good workout from home. Like, I had the vision of like the 80s workouts, and completely changed my mind after this 21-day and just I was able to get back to my pre-pregnancy shape, and actually felt like I was stronger, more fit, and more confident than I was before, and completely fell in love with just the support and the accountability, and the challenge groups that I kind of decided that I wanted to share with other people.
That's awesome. Yeah, that first 21-day fix workout was I bet it was an eye-opener, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like, okay, this on girl knows what she's talking about.
Yes, I mean, that happens to all of us. So after you did that, then you decided to start your own challenge group, and tell us about that. That was kind of, I bet pivotal with you figuring out kind of what coaching was really about.
Right, and again, it was just one of those things, like most of you, I'm sure, you fall in love with the programs and Shakeology, and it just feels wrong to keep it from other people. And so I invited people to the next group and got a really great response. And it was just one of those things where it's like, okay, I think I can do this, and started thinking about the things that it could potentially help me with.
Okay, cool. Well, okay, so you're a premier coach, which if you don't know what that is, that means that you've helped other people advance their business centers, so other coaches that are working with you, under you, on your team, and to be successful. And like was mentioned before, you really can't do that without having a heart for people, helping people, and working really hard. So basically you went from being skeptical, gym rat, and kind of just thinking, I'm going to need to do this 21-day fix thing just to make sure that I have a little bit of credit if I tell my friends or they ask me about it on Facebook or something, to being so successful, you're a premier coach, you're Success Club 10 All-Star, and tell us about that jump. There must have been something that was driving you, that what we call your why. I bet all of you have heard of that. Like, what's that strong why that you have for coaching? What's that burning in your belly to get up in the morning and to do this thing? So tell us about your why.
So, I'll play emotional because I always do.
Okay.
So, when I said I was pregnant at the time with my daughter before I started coaching, I actually got pregnant through IVF. So, I very quickly learned that I wasn't going to be able to have children on my own. I just don't produce the hormones that most women do naturally. So, we went through a couple rounds of artificial insemination for her, and then had to do in vitro fertilization, which was really probably one of the darkest, hardest times of my life. You feel completely isolated and alone, not knowing if you're ever going to have children. It's just really difficult, and it's a complete emotional up and down all the time. So. When I decided to start coaching, I thought, even if, I make $100 a month or something, I can put that aside for the next time that we want to go through IVF, knowing that that was in my future if we wanted to grow a family. So that really was my driving force through everything, just knowing that every little bit would help me along the way. And another part of my life is just helping other people and having people, come to you and say, I've never been able to lose weight like this. And not only are they losing weight, but they're more confident, they have more energy, they just feel like they're their best version of themselves, and they're able to maintain it, which is something I feel like a lot of other programs and diets or whatever crazy things are out there are able to do, and just helping people with, not only their health and fitness goals, but their financial goals too, as other coaches on the team.
Okay, so from February until, was it maybe the end of the year? I mean, you were able to do something really incredible.
So, in October of this past fall, my husband and I decided we wanted to try and grow our family again. And so I had actually made a separate account for my Beachbody account, and looked up and I realized that I had made enough to pay for an entire IVF cycle. And I can't tell you how huge that was, because, like I said, it really, even the second time, people say, oh, but you have your first one. But when you have this vision of what you want your family to be, and you still don't know if it's going to be that way, it's still really, really hard. Physically, it's hard. You're injecting yourself with medications every night for, up to 2 weeks for me. Your hormones go crazy. And financially, it's a huge burden. Most insurance companies don't pay for it, so it's all out of pocket. So to be able to take the financial piece off of it was an incredible weight off our shoulders, and just helped the process go a little bit more smoothly. I don't know if you can see, but I have a baby bump right now. We're very lucky. It worked the first time, and we were able to freeze one embryo, so we have one for the future, and I'm due on July 31st.
That's amazing. Congratulations. So incredible. One of the things that coaching can be so many different things for you, and you had that strong why, and you knew what you were doing, why you were doing it, and it's amazing to see what you've accomplished. I can't wait to see what you can accomplish.